And the team's been led out for this second round match in Group A by the captains, Emily Rudge from England, Gabby Hindley of Canada, proudly leading their teams out, hoping to at least replicate what they managed in that 2017 World Cup 5 years ago. A win today for England will set them nicely on course to progress through to the semi-finals. Canada still looking for their first win of the tournament after that narrow defeat, a brave performance as well against Papua New Guinea at Headingley on Tuesday. Both sides will be up for the challenge that faces them this afternoon. A healthy crowd as well for this early kick-off at Wigan. A chilly afternoon it will be, typical November weather. But it's relatively dry, handling shouldn't be too badly affected. Neither should the kicking games, as the teams prepare to face the national anthems ahead of the start of this World Cup match here this afternoon at the DW Stadium in Wigan. The mascots proudly going out alongside the players. England arm in arm, ready for the British national anthem, the English national anthem. But first, we will hear the national anthem of Canada.
For those of you who can, please stand as Ashley Dean performs the national anthem of Canada. Performs the national anthem of England.
God save our gracious King, God save
Both national anthems sung with gusto by both teams and greeted with applause from both sets of fans in the crowd as well. So let's have a look at how the sides line up this afternoon. We will start off with the England side. 7 changes for them as Craig Richards rotates his squad. Carrie Roberts comes into the centres and Kira Bennett is at hooker for her second England cap. Zoe Hornby's on the bench. She'll make her England debut. Amy Hardcastle and Jodie Cunningham are amongst those that are rested.
6 Georgia Roach, 7
For Canada, there are 5 changes to the squad that beat Papua New Guinea. Look out for Megan Bakulis at loose forward. She made an incredible 55 tackles in that game. And then there's the inspirational Laura Mariu in the halves. It's her 6th World Cup, the only player to have been a part of every Women's World Cup since it started back in 2000. She won 3 of those with New Zealand. The referee for this afternoon's match is Mr. Paki Parkinson. The video referee, should we need him this afternoon, is Ashley Klein. Of course, the video referee ruling on any doubts about any tries, and certainly captain's challenges as well as this game goes on. If you don't know what a captain's challenge is, if one happens, we'll explain more if you are new to rugby league. But a big afternoon for Canada and for England. A double header here this afternoon at the DW Stadium. England's men following on in their quarter-final against Papua New Guinea a little later, but it's the women that take centre stage first. Alongside me this afternoon are the former England internationals Andrea Dobson and Faye Gaskin. A lot of changes for England this afternoon, Andrea. It'll be interesting to see how this one turns out.
Yeah, it will, yeah, but it also shows the strength of depth that's in the squad as well, and I think Craig Richards has got a lot of headaches and, you know, real opportunity to get some of the girls some game time, and yeah, it's really mixed up. It'll be interesting.
The sides just going through the final warm-ups ahead of the match. We will, of course, have the 13 seconds, everyone together, one game together, showing there's no room for discrimination in the sport. We're still waiting for the teams to get into line to face that. Canada, Faye Gaskin, did well against Papua New Guinea. It could be a tough one for England.
Yeah, absolutely, and Canada will come out today with a point to prove, as will England. I think Canada are looking for their first points, the first win of this World Cup, and they've been phenomenal, especially in defence. I'm looking forward to see both packs coming head-to-head together.
So the applause around the ground for the 13 seconds. Canada in a huddle. England taking their places as we get ready for this game, the second round of group games in the Women's World Cup 2021 about to get underway. England, of course, with that big win against Brazil last time out, 72 points to 4. Make no mistake, Canada will be much tougher opposition today for Craig Richards' team. And with the 7 that didn't feature in that win playing this afternoon, it'll be interesting to see some different combinations for England, how things work out as this game goes on. And the game is underway with Tara Stanley kicking downfield for England. A bit of a fumble taken by Karina Gauto, and it's a knock-on, an early error coming in from Canada. Not the start that they would have wanted, but England relishing the opportunity early.
Yeah, definitely not the start Canada wanted to error there, so of course their own line and a good kick-off from Tara Stanley there. I think England will just want to get a good start, compose and hopefully get over early, but I think, you know, this Canadian pack will initially give them some headaches.
So the two sides packing down. Here we go with England on the attack. Courtney Winfield-Hill keeping the ball alive, moving it out to Leah Burke. Leah Burke goes forward for the corner. Has she got that ball down? She thinks she has. The referee, here we go, the video referee being employed within the first minute. It's been sent up to Ashley Klein.
Video ref to match director. We have a live decision of try on tackle 1 for the best available angles to determine the touchline and grounding, please. Something front on, if possible. So we have possession there. Yep, the speed's fine. The feet are still in at this stage. The ball's grounded. Can I just get a back angle there? We have a live decision of try here. It appears the ball's down before going out. Just bring it back slightly. Yeah, just go back to that front one and probably confirm the try here. Just go back a little bit. Yep, nice and slow. And go down one more frame. The ball's down now. Based on the available angles, we're supporting the on-field decision. Thank you, I've seen all the angles and I need to make my decision.
So all eyes to the big screen, and it's a try. England getting off to the best possible start for Gaskin.
Yeah, a great start from England there. They earned the right to play with that great kick-off from Tara Stanley, and we talk about being patient and they chance around with this one, but a great tip-off from Fran Gulthorpe, and Leah Burke will always back herself in that situation, and a great try there.
What an effort from Leah Burke there to finish in the corner. Probably 3 or 4 Canadian defenders around her, but you know they'll learn from that pretty early on. They defended too narrowly off that scrum, and although they got the bodies across to defend it, they were just too narrow to start with and left themselves too much to do.
2 tries in 2 appearances in this World Cup for Leah Burke, getting off to a good start, but a tough task now for Tara Stanley. Didn't do too well from out wide with the kicking tee against Brazil. Is she any better this afternoon? That looks a good one, but it's just dropping short. So England with a 4-0 lead and, well, underway to the start that Greg Richards would want, I guess.
Yeah, 100%, and that'll settle some nerves, because I think just watching the Canada-Papua New Guinea game last week, you know, Canada had a really good account of themselves, and you know, England will be wary of that, and early start, early try, and that'll just settle some nerves for England.
Carrie Roberts providing the pass that saw Leah Burke go in for that try. Roberts in this afternoon for Amy Hardcastle. And really, with Carrie Roberts and Amy Hardcastle, it's almost a straight swap when you look at the size and the power of the centres. As she gets in full flight, you will see really her just go this afternoon as well. But Canada to restart things. Kick goes long downfield. It's taken by Maddie Aberg for Canada. Caught nicely by England. And it's Paige Travis with the dinosaur plat that's driven to ground on the first. Kira Bennett and at hooker. Her first appearance of the World Cup as England go forward now. Good meters made there by England. Travis again. Up to the halfway line for England. Canada hunting in packs at the moment with that defence. And now it's Hoyle, little ball to Rudd. That looked like it had gone forward, but it goes to ground anyway. And it just bobs up for Canada. We've talked amongst ourselves, and I know the chat has been about the patience that England need in this game this afternoon, and that was probably an example there of Shona Hoyle trying to get that pass out when she really didn't need to.
Yeah, definitely. I think the patience and composure is going to be a big thing, and again, we spoke about settling the nerves and just completing those sets. We won't be happy about that, but yeah, it'll be an interesting battle with the forwards here, because the Canadian pack are good, but I think it'll be interesting on this left edge that they put Maddie Aberg out there at centre today when she was playing in the pack last week, and you know, I think that'll be a target for England. You don't know whether they've put her there to try and defend Amy Hardcastle, who's not playing now, but she'll have a tough day at the office with Carrie Roberts. But yeah, it'll be interesting on this left edge.
6 again, the hooter in the background indicating a set restart, a problem the referee has seen at the play of the ball, giving the advantage to Canada. And it's Tam at acting half, takes a little ball to her left-hand side. The tackle's in. Tam again, Canada just edging closer. Oh, long ball going back to McDade. They just couldn't quite take that pass. She loses a few metres as a result of it. And the defence is allowed to come in. England just regaining a little bit of territory.
Yeah, it's still interesting that when they're passing back for the kick, they're still passing it back 10-15 metres, and the kicking from Canada doesn't seem to be on the front foot because of that. And you know, this is the third game with the friendly they've played as well, and yeah, I think they need to be a little bit smarter with that and playing the front foot a little bit more with the kickers.
I think they've got a really good kicker as well, but catching the ball 10 metres behind the play of the ball means that you're losing that ground automatically. But I think Canada have to be patient as well. They've had success getting in the England half, and I think it'll come with them like it did against Papua New Guinea.
So England with that ball once more, with Carrie Roberts. Trying to show her strength there, running at that defensive line. Bennett. Good offload, nice support coming in from Goldthorpe, still at full-back this afternoon, keeping that shirt that she took for the game against Brazil. And England trying to find those yards up centre field.
Yeah, they're good strong carriers as well, and that's what you want from your back three before you pack come into play as well. It's just those yardage.
What a hit coming in from
again. She always catches them, doesn't she?
Laura Mariu with the tackle as well. A heck of a hit from the 41-year-old. I think some of us around that age are pretty jealous of the fact she pulled that off and managed to stand up afterwards. But England still with the ball, moving it along the line.
Always gets up though, doesn't she? She always gets up. Bless her.
Kick downfield taken nicely by Canada. In possession is Lauren Muller. And the defence comes in from England. What a hit.
Yeah, Canada will probably take a little bit of confidence from that as well, just that moment, but it'll certainly rile England as well. So this set will probably be a big set of D from England as well.
I think the whole stadium gasped when that tackle went in. What a clobber Shona Hoyle got, but yeah, on her feet, back in that defensive line. England having to defend, Canada with the ball. It's played again to Tam, to Hindley now, the captain. Tries to step off one foot, tries to get around the defence. Hoyle's in there with a tackle. Not a like for like either at the moment. There goes Pakoulis.
How good was she against Papua New Guinea last week as well? Just looking at her stats, you know, 21 carries, 56 tackles, over 200 metres in that match. You know, she was outstanding for Canada, and they'll be looking for the same today.
Both Pakoulis and Aberg caught the eye for Canada in that game against Papua New Guinea, didn't they?
Yeah, but, you know, the work rate was outstanding from both of them.
So penalty awarded to Canada, giving them extra yards upfield. And it'll be McDade. And you can see there, Canada really with the bulk of the possession in this game so far. But England with the advantage on the scoreboard. But this could be a chance for Canada. 20 metres out. And driving the ball through. Trying to make those yards inside the England red zone. Here's Tam at acting half. Plenty of options with the runners. Okonwo brought down. 5 metres out. Here goes Tam. First real test for England as far as defence goes. Long ball coming out wide to Gauto. She was hit well there in the tackle from England. Harry Roberts, the player who got in there. And Canada again reset. The ball moved out along the line to McDade. Steps off one foot, tries to duck out of another. Good work coming in from the England forwards. The tackle's made. From acting half. Drive through from Pakoulis. She's going to be held though short. This is the last of the set of 6 for Canada. Can they crack that England defensive line? Taking a dart from acting half is Tam. Can she get the ball away? She can. Okonkwo again driving through. Good work coming in from the England girls, keeping their line intact, and they needed that in defence.
Yeah, that was a great defensive set there from England. They were tested on a few situations. They moved it to the right, Canada, then shipped it back to the left. But England just had to believe in the defence, and they need a really good, strong set.
Yeah, great defence. 2-3 in the tackle there. I just think Canada, they're not really offering much at the minute. They're good around the ruck. They've got good push, and I think if England, you know, body up and get numbers in, they'll stop them there. I just think Canada are struggling with that option out wide.
The atmosphere lifting at the stadium as Leah Burke goes forward with the ball for England. Bennett finds Roberts doing the hard yards. They look similar to me, the Carrie Roberts and Amy Hardcastle. When you've got the pair of them on a pitch together, it's a case of which side do you attack?
Yeah, they're both quality, and you know, playing against them, it's hard enough. They both offer such strong power, athleticism, and yeah, it's a difficult task. You know, it's replacing Amy Hardcastle with Carrie Roberts. It won't do any other teams any favours, and yeah, they're both quality players.
Georgia Roach with a kick. It's rebounded though, charged down. And the referee just having a look to see. And I think he's going to be giving a knock-on here. Yeah, indicated a knock-on.
Not probably the end of the set England wanted there, but good pressure from Canada. I always say don't respect the kickers too much, and I think when we watched the New Zealand game this week, they respected the kickers too much, and they put pressure on Georgia Roach, and she just couldn't get it away quick enough, and it comes as a success for Canada.
See there how the ball just rebounds off the arm of a Canada defender. In there was Christy Sargent, and the ball coming forward off her, giving giving Canada the head and feet. It was deemed as not played at by the referee. So we're away from the base of the scrum from Canada. Mariu out wide, finds Woods. Looked like she struggled almost to take that pass, but takes it cleanly.
Yeah, well gathered there, a good feet as well, just to evade Tara Stanley a little bit.
So England having to come through as Canada try and find space up the middle of the pitch. Again, the atmosphere lifts. Getting behind their sides, a nice smattering of Canadian fans in here this afternoon as well. And they're pushing back up the England half of the field. McDade offloads. Good tackle coming in. Tara Stanley, McDade back in there though, helping out their teammate. McDade again, getting through the work. Mariu, centre field, takes the ball to the line. Good offload to Hindley. Hindley, you could see, looking for the angle there. The defence closed in. This is the last of the set for Canada. Again, Gaucho from acting half. Good offload there again to Aberg. Aberg is brought down just short of the line. Again, England's defence stands firm, but pressure coming from Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. And Aberg being probably the main hitter there. She was this week in the first game, but she hit a great lead line there, and it put England under a little bit of pressure on their own line.
And a good place to finish for the Canadians as well. You know, now they'll put pressure on England, but this is good for England. This is what they need, and you know, that little bit of pressure, and see how they go with this. But again, the back three carrying out of a sticky spot near their own line.
Shona Hoyle, again, a big hit, not quite as big coming in on her, but certainly a big hit coming in on Shona Hoyle. She'll have felt that one from a Conquer, and
yeah,
now
again.
It's Travis.
The Canadian pack have that though. I think again, just watching them against Papua New Guinea, they match them in a lot of parts in that forward area, and again, you know, they get numbers in the ruck, they slow it down. They were quite good around the middle.
Vicky Molyneux getting to her feet, a Wigan player, but never have had played on this ground. As the kick comes forward, it's chased back, and it's Brittany Jones who collects it. She's in for her first appearance of the World Cup. That looked a little high, I thought there, the tackle coming in, nothing given by the referee. Courtney Winfield Hill in there with Shona Hoyle, and Gauto goes forward. Canada, they're doing well with the possession so far, aren't they? They're making good yards with it.
Yeah, they are doing well. You know, they're carrying with push. You know, they're getting past the gain line a little bit. You know, England are having to put the numbers in to control them, and they're getting a quick play like they're just showing there, and you know, they're getting a little bit of a roll on.
Woods goes but doesn't take the ball with her. A knock-on given by the referee. Canada, as we've mentioned, made the semi-finals back in 2017. There are 5 in this squad that were part of that group then. Like Brazil, they've got quite a rugby union background going on. A lot of the players play weekly in rugby union and rarely get the rugby league run-outs. But they're a side that have got the skill.
Yeah, absolutely, and not just the skill but the physicality as well. It's just unfortunate though, just a bit of a loose carry, and Georgia Roach got a hand what dislodged the ball. But for me, Canada are probably a team what go a little bit under the radar, and you look along at each individual player and they're pretty strong physical athletes, and they're testing England. They're testing England more than England got tested last week against Brazil, and England got a quick try. I think it was on 1 minute, and now it's been pretty like for like.
So Vicky Molyneux back on her feet, having had a bit of attention from the physio. Laura Mariou just looking on. What a player she is, Andrea. I know you've come up against her a few times.
Yeah, a few times. Yeah, just replayed that shot there.
Like
yeah. No, not quite. But yeah, you know, a real legend of the game in New Zealand, and you know, what a story for her to play for Canada as well in this World Cup.
Canadian coach Mike Castle, I'm sure he'll be pretty happy with what he's seen so far as England get the ball away from the base of the scrum with Tara Stanley.
I probably have got a hit like that as well, but you know, with the Kiwis it could be 1 to 35 of them could add them out. So
6 again for England. I guess you forget who it is that's hit you if there's that many of them coming at you when it's like that. Here we go again though for England, middle of the field with Georgia Roach. Looked like she was going to offload towards her right. Takes the defensive line in the end. Good work from Canada, making sure there's no way forward for Roach. And now it's Courtney Winfield Hill, a Leeds teammate, trying to attack on the opposite side of the field. Bit of a scramble there from Fran Goldthorpe.
I think they're shaping up well, England. I think it just needs to be a little bit closer to the line. When they're putting that shape on and bodies moving, it probably just needs to engage the defenders a little bit more and play a little bit closer to the line.
Emily Rudge, the player, getting to her feet. Bennett to Courtney Winfield Hill, finds Shona Hoyle, has Travis. Travis drives forward, she can make yards. Can Paige Travis, playing at prop this afternoon, usually in the second row for Club St Helens. As now England pick up the momentum. The rubber kick put through from Georgia Roach, collected by Canada, but a good chase from England.
That's a good pick-up as well from Canada, but I think although they've finished in the point of the field they want to, it almost should have gone through hands there from Georgia. That, you know, the winger are defending really tight, and through hands there was probably 2 on that edge to pick from.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, especially when you've got a 9 like Kira Bennett who can pass a ball and cut out the A and B defender there, I think if it was just a simple tip on from Georgia, you had Tara and Georgia Wilson waiting for that ball there.
So a good start from England in this game with a try from Leah Burke. We've got into the arm wrestle though now, neither side really cracking too much as far as their defensive lines are concerned. Here we go again with Burke. Extra couple of metres made there, just kept her legs pumping before that defence came in, and this is the last already for Canada. England have done a good job in defence, keeping them back inside their own 40. McDade with the kick, taken by Tara Stanley. She attacks that defensive line.
A really good defensive set there by England. You know, although we didn't agree it was the right option, but where they finished close to their line, they've kept them to 40 metres, and look where they returned the ball from.
England trying to drive forward, almost half a break coming there. The defence doing its job for the Canadians. Here's Roach to Winfield Hill. Finds Hoyle. Hoyle coming on the angle. She's got support as well. 10 metres out. Here's Burke. Can she get around the defence? No, but she can offload. Carrie Roberts takes the ball. England safely keeping that possession as a result of that pass from Burke. Inside the 10. Burke at acting half. Courtney Winfield Hill driving forward. Emily Rudge.
Yeah, good chance there, Shauna. Good pass from Shauna. Probably if she just straightened up a little bit and engaged that defender, they might give Leah Burke a little bit more room, but...
Winfield Hill taking on the line. She goes through, sliding through. Just held short, though, the referee on the spot. England, a little bit of a scrappy pass there from the play of the ball, but still moving, still going. England are in. England get the try, and it's Holly Dodd who touches down.
A real strong try there from Holly Dodd. I think that set for England, you had Shauna Hoyle done a really good outside pass to Leah Burke, and then we just aimed to resettle. The ball did go to ground before Holly picked it up, but she backed herself in a right foot step, and a great finish for her.
Yeah, what a talent she is as well. You know, a young player just coming onto the scene as well, new to England, and what a great talent. Out of nothing, great inside step.
Courtney Winfield Hill doing the hard work in the build-up to that. Not the best of passes, and like you say, Andrea, out of nothing there. A scruffy pass, picked it up, took the chance.
I think that's where England are going to get some joy again. Canada are defending so narrowly. You know, the wing of the centre are panicking a little bit, trying to drag players out. They're trying to push out to cover, and then just the ball back on the inside or a step is just getting them undone. So I think, you know, they're defending too tight, so they're leaving spaces on the edge, but then over chasing, they're going to struggle when play comes back in.
19 years old, Holly Dodd playing for York. That's her 4th try in England colours. And a former ballroom dancer. Little facts like that absolutely blow my mind. You can go from ballroom dancing to playing rugby league. Incredible.
Yeah, she is a phenomenal athlete, and I think she's worked really hard this year on the strength and conditioning and putting a bit of size on, and just full wraps for that pick-up for a bouncing ball. Not many players would have been able to pick that, then back with a footwork and score that try.
So Tara Stanley trying to add the extras. And again, no joy for Tara Stanley. 8-0 England lead. We talked about the kicking of Tara Stanley on Tuesday when they beat Brazil. She still banged over the goals, but maybe 1 or 2 weren't converted that she might have done.
We need to be getting them over.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you play, even Papua New Guinea next week, we need to be getting those kicks over. And you know, Tara's a great kicker, but looking at a completion at the minute, I'd be changing it up. I'd be giving it Courtney Winfield Hill to have a go at the minute.
And it is going to matter in tighter games, isn't it?
It certainly will, yeah.
But England with the advantage. Canada getting things restarted again with Aberg. Long downfield, taken cleanly, and here we go with Paige Travis. She's another young player that's done well. Faye, a player that you play alongside at St Helens, someone you know well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that first year she come onto the scene, she was a little bit unstoppable, and last year she'll be one to admit this season she's probably had a bit of an up and down year, but she's worked really hard to earn that shirt. And I know when I spoke to her this week, she was like, the minute I get the opportunity to pull that shirt on, I'll give everything I can to tell Craig that this is the shirt I want to keep. So it's really good to see her on the field today.
So penalty awarded to England for that high tackle on Emily Rudge, and they get possession again. A bit of a scruffy pick-up, it looked, from Kara Bennett there, but clean in the end. And England getting themselves just outside the Canadian 40. Just feels like they're getting a roll on. Momentum is really with them at the moment. There goes Tara Stanley with that step around the first line of defence. Can't get around the second. Tackle comes in. Georgia Roach, Holly Dodd again, driving forward. Keeps it alive with the offload, taken by Roach. Along the line again to Hoyle. England looking good. Harry Roberts brought down, doing the hard yards at the end of the move. 5 metres out. Ball goes back to Roach. Hoyle again. Hoyle thought she was going to get around that last line of defence. The tackle has come in. This is the last of the set for England. Courtney Winfield-Hill with the kick. Look at the space out wide. Can it be taken cleanly? It can. Tara Stanley with the offload. And it's Georgia Wilson who goes in. Her first appearance of the World Cup. And she gets the next try for England.
Great try there, and a great eyes up, great vision from Courtney Winfield-Hill to spot that space. Again, we keep talking about it. Canada are defending so narrow and acres of space there to get that kick into. But a great pick up from Tara and an easy finish in the end for Georgia Wilson.
England are just looking at playing a bit more simple now, and you see there you had Shauna Hall taking a carry in, and it comes off the back of this penalty against Vic Moll. It was a little bit of a high shot, but once England start being patient, they're playing real good structure, and there was a cue outside, but yeah, great crossfield kick from Courtney Winfield-Hill for that finish, and a tip on from Tara Stanley.
Great vision, as you say, from Courtney Winfield-Hill and Tara Stanley. At the time of the passing, the Canadian defence was there coming across, but calm, I think, from England.
Yeah, that's what they need, and you know, we spoke about again patience, composure, and that calmness, and the opportunities will come. And we spoke, even though they put 74 points past Brazil, there were still times where they lacked that composure, and it could have been a lot more. So that's what they'll be looking at today. And yeah, it's looking good, and some great carries as well from Holly Dodd, Shauna Hoyle there, Vicky Molyneux. They're tipping up, they're making the meters, and that's where they're getting the joy.
So Tara Stanley trying to convert the try coming from Georgia Wilson. Another one of the Wigan contingent in this England squad is Georgia Wilson. Again, never having played on this pitch here at the DW Stadium, as Tara Stanley steps up. And it's good. What a belter from the touchline.
That's just because I said we should change it. It's like that. I'll dodge this one over now.
To be fair to Tara Stanley, she's kicked some corking goals in the Women's Super League this season.
Reverse psychology, that's what I was going for.
She's not done it yet in an England shirt until that point, but wow. 14-0 then, England lead. And a good start coming in as well, I think, from England. I think we were again chatting before the game, and we were saying how we expected Canada to really take this game to England. And they sort of have so far, but England have taken the opportunities that have been few and far between. They've taken them.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think England have had to defend their own try line for the first time this World Cup, and it's been tough for them, but they need that physicality and they need that battle, but equally they need to be able to play as a unit, and I think now that they're a bit more patient and they're growing as a squad, it's looking good.
Big tackle going in on Tara Stanley. Canada penalised. You just see a bit of a sloppy arm from Woods, and then Muller coming in as well.
I wouldn't have said that were hard, to be honest, with that one over the ball, but
I think the worst I would have said
probably
about
my dodgy tackle tech, to be fair.
I think sloppy is the worst I would have said about it. It didn't particularly look like a stiff arm coming or anything like that on it.
They're just putting themselves under pressure, Canada, and England just need to keep doing the same things, you know, carry with push, carry hard, make the meters in, and the opportunities will come.
So England again with the ball inside the Canada half of the field. Vicky Molyneux lifted well in the tackle there by the Canadian defence. On off the bench is Alex Evans for Canada.
She's held, get up!
England still with that ball. Kira Bennett to Paige Travis.
Play together now!
Again, the work being done. Just keep your eye on that number 13 for Canada, Megan Pakoulis, as you mentioned, over 50 tackles against Papua New Guinea. She's involved in quite a few of these this afternoon, as England on the attack again around the line with Carrie Roberts taking the pass. Roberts again with that strength going through. This is the last for England. Will it be more points? Can Canada hold them out? Courtney Winfield-Hill offloads to Shauna Hoyle. Hoyle going forward. That is just going to die on the last. I don't know whether that was a lack of communication or awareness, but an unusual end to that set for England.
Yeah, and I think Carrie Roberts takes the ball in there, and I'd class that as an opportunity. If the ball goes through the hands there, Leah Burt probably would have been in the corner again. But again, a good set, a good finish. Look where they're finishing, and now they're putting pressure on. So yeah, it's still a good end. It's still a good end to the set.
A great drive back by the English defence. Canada just squeezing that ball out after the referee had shouted held to say that the tackle had been completed. Some joy, it seems, for England coming down the left with that combination of Robertson and Burke.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think the joy for England, but maybe the Canada defence on this side isn't sliding as well. I know England are looking strong, but like Andrea said, that tip-on pass needed to go to Leah Burke then.
So a knock-on from Canada. More pressure to come then from England.
Yeah, great defence there from Holly Dodd, out the line, big contact.
And I think it was almost McDade that got in the way there of Gauto as she tried to get to her feet after that work coming in from Holly Dodd. So this is pressure then on Canada again from England.
And again, look how narrow the Canadian defence is. Like, literally 3 metres from that left post.
All it needs is a decent kick at some point, and there's Courtney Winfield-Hill with ball in hand. She gives it to Roberts. She's got players outside her, but Roberts is still going. What a run from the St Helens centre. Brought down just short. Bennett gives the ball to Winfield-Hill. Winfield-Hill! She's going to be held up over that line. No way will that ball be down. The referee indicating she's held up.
Yeah, great strong carry there from Carrie Robertson. Almost getting over the line with five players around her, but yeah, they just need to probably be a little bit smarter, England.
So Bennett, she'll send the ball to the middle of the field. To Roach, shows the ball, takes it herself. Nice little offload to Paige Travis. Travis is brought down. England are sensing blood again here, I think. And the ball goes again to Hoyle. Strong running coming from the forward. Inches away from the line. Bennett keeps it moving to Roach. The space, they don't need the space. The try comes in, and again it's Holly Dodd. 2 in this game for her on her first start in this World Cup, and England stretch away.
What a great try again from Holly Dodd, a 19-year-old on the biggest stage in the world, and she's absolutely shining. And I think great for Georgia Roach to get her hands in there. We could have gone that way the set before. We decided to attack back left, but for me that right-hand edge, it's so strong, and you've got Georgia Roach who can skip across, and again it comes from Holly Dodd's workload, forcing the error, and then she finishes nicely.
Yeah, and good strong carries go forward as well. You know, we talk about being narrow, but that's also a real credit to England as well. The carries are really strong. They're having to get bodies in there to defend it and stop them, so it's just creating space all over.
Holly Dodd, the young player of the year in the Women's Super League 2022, also shortlisted for Woman of Steel as well. She's had a great season in her first year at York. And it's her York teammate Tara Stanley, again, who steps up. She's just slotted that beautiful one from the touchline. Can she do it a little bit nearer the posts? Andrea Dobson, don't say anything, just still on the safe side.
I'm saying nothing. I'm going to say she's going to miss it just so she gets it.
And it's good. 2 from 4 from Tara Stanley. 20-0 England lead. And they're doing a clinical job, I would suggest, so far, England.
Yeah, they are, and you know, again, improvements from the last match. That they're taking their opportunities, and you know, again, like Bay said, Georgia Roach, right option there. You know, we've had a kick try, we've had a couple of tries through from Holly Dodd, and yeah, really pleasing. I think the go forward is strong, and I think this is where we'll see the difference. England are looking a really fit, athletic side, and I don't think they'll drop off for the whole 80 minutes.
So Aberg to get things started again for Canada. It's the second game, of course, second time today that England have played Canada. The first time was in the Women's Rugby Union World Cup. England with the win in that one, taking them through to the final. And I know the Rugby League girls are doing something looking to do something similar this afternoon as far as the results concerned, to keep their unbeaten record in Group A in this Women's Rugby League World Cup. So England coming forward again. Still inside their own half for the time being. The defence doing its job for Canada. Gabby Hindley tracking across in defence. Nice ball there to Hoyle coming from Rudge. Hoyle's brought down. Courtney Winfield-Hill just buzzing around in the background again as well, just trying to organise things as Molyneux goes forward there. Half a break for her. This is the last of the set. And the ball comes out. How did it come out? The referee says it's a knock-on. And Canada, a relieving decision, that one, I think, for them.
Yeah, that's unlucky. That's a great carry by Vicky Molyneux. And every time she gets the ball, she's getting metres and she's getting on the front foot or a little tip. So, yeah, she'll be disappointed with that. But again, a great carry.
I think the last two games she's been absolutely outstanding, Vicky Moll, and I know she's come into this World Cup on the back of quite a big knee injury, and I just think her defence has been outstanding and her attack, she's just relentless, and someone who's really proud to wear that England shirt, but she's also awesome to watch.
So play restarts again with Canada the ball away from the base of the scrum. Heiberg trying to find space out wide, she can't.
I think it certainly gives Craig Richards a headache about who he's going to play in his back row with the options that he's got.
I know we're still early in this game, but the girls that have come in for England, they have given Craig Richards a bit to think about.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what you want as a coach. You know, you want strength in depth, you want to bring like for like, or, you know, you want to be able to pick a squad or a team for the team that's in front of you, and I think this squad offers that, and he's got some real options.
Canada on the attack, centre of the field, Liz Steele. Strong prop forward, she's brought down just inside England's 40. Trying to find space on the short side. The defence is there, last tackle, cries the referee. And it goes centre to McDade with the kick downfield. Burke is underneath it, takes it safely and attacks that line. Mariu is there, she comes in as a second defender for Canada, helping out Pakulis, and England with that ball once more.
Yeah, a great take there from Leah Burke, but off the ball, Vic Whitfield put quite a bit of pressure on McDade when she tried to get that kick away, so I think they're the small wins you probably don't see as much, but they're the big raps there for the middles who are chasing hard to put pressure on the kicker.
The atmosphere is really ramping up, and the crowd has filled up as well, I think, here at the DW as Vicky Whitfield goes driving forward for England.
Yeah, big carry, and that's what Vicky Whitfield does for you off the bench. Strong, hard, straight running, and gets your team on the front foot.
Nice kick from Courtney Winfield-Hill there, splitting the winger and the fullback. It's picked up by Brittany Jones, and the chase is good, the tackle is made. But Canada, with work to do, was that a little bit of a bobble there?
I thought so there.
As Jones stood up to try and play that ball, nothing seen by the referee, and Canada safely with that possession. Evans takes a place at acting half. And again, the referee on the spots, blows the whistle, spots an error. And a player down in back play as well for Canada, just to see again as...
It's tough that for Canada. Wood's done a great half plus there, great drive, and unfortunately comes up with an error, but I think the tackle before, it was a little bit of a... I think she landed a bit funny on her knee, which may have been the ball at the play, the ball we've seen, so hopefully it's nothing too serious.
See again what happened to Brittany Jones as she went down. Oh, her leg went the wrong way. Faye, I can see you wince because you've been in similar situations, haven't you?
Was Faye a leg injury?
Hey, that hurt, that leg injury.
So your social media for about a year needed graphic content warnings. Every time I saw your name, I was wincing.
Just for anybody that doesn't know what happened, it was the 2021 Challenge Cup final, playing for St Helens, Faye. St Helens scored, and in the act of celebrating a try, you unfortunately ended up being ruled out for over a year with quite seriously a nasty knee injury.
Yeah, it's nearly been 2 years now. It was a career-ending injury, so hopefully he'll be back this season. I've been working hard, but it doesn't look good. Knee injuries are tough, especially on this stage. He would have made a really big impact for Canada, and unfortunately being carried off. Let's hope it's just a precaution.
So that's Brittany Jones's afternoon ended. Sadly, the 31-year-old, a boxer as well. That was a matchup I was looking forward to seeing with Carrie Roberts, who's also been a boxer in a time for the Army. But sadly, Brittany Jones's afternoon has ended, and coming on in place of her is Zoe Siciliano. But England with the ball from the scrum to Roach, moving it along the line, and there is Goldthorpe going forward, looking good. What pace for Goldthorpe, slicing through the defence. From Goldthorpe, what a run from the England fullback, a superb try.
Great try there, and you know, she made that look so easy. The gap was only small, but again, I'm probably repeating myself, but how narrow are Canada defending? They're just making it so hard for themselves, and that's not to take any credit away from England there. Great try score, but they're so narrow, and then they're having to chase hard, and then they're just finding it really hard to defend. You know, I'm sure that'll be a fix-up at half-time from their coaching team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when England are coming up against Papua New Guinea or the next round to the semi-finals, someone has to straighten up here. You see Goldthorpe, she keeps going and she's going and going to the right, but against a stronger defence and a defence who mark man for man, she'll have to straighten up and maybe chance around to hit Georgia Wilson on the outside.
But some lovely footwork from Fran Goldthorpe there to get through that gap.
Oh, great! She dances through there. You know, she's one player one-on-one you wouldn't want to be against, and she always beats that first, second defender and has been outstanding for Leeds.
So Tara Stanley, 2 from 4 from her so far as conversions are concerned. That the 5th try for England coming from Fran Goldthorpe, her 6th in 6 appearances as well for her country. Scored against Brazil as well as Stanley comes in. And again, nothing added for Tara Stanley. 24-0 the scoreline remains certainly in command on that scoreboard. And she's certainly not happy either, I think, looking at the words she may have just uttered, Tara Stanley, with her kicking performance so far.
Yeah, she'll be really frustrated in that. I know when some of the games for York, she was coming out with 100%. She was hitting every single conversion, but like Andrea mentioned, sometimes, well, these points will count. These points will count going forward, and we can't afford to be only converting 2 out of 5. And you have got an outstanding kicker in Courtney Winfield Hill, so I'm wondering whether she'll get the call up to take over that.
I'm sure I've missed him in front of the sticks, but I think I definitely have.
Aberg then restarts for Canada. Taken cleanly by Carrie Roberts. Hits that defensive line.
Yeah, she's been strong, Carrie Roberts. Great carries, and you know, on the back of restarts as well. She's got England going forward really well.
The forwards have carried well for me so far as well of England, as Emily Rudge gets to her feet and plays the ball, and it's out and away. England brought down just inside the Canadian half of the field. Danny Anderson gets to her feet. She's on off the substitutes bench as the ball goes out to Roach. Roach sells a dummy. Space opens up for Georgia Roach. Roach is in the clear. She's been chased down. They won't catch her. A kick of the feet, and Georgia Roach is in right behind the post for England.
That's an outstanding try for Georgia Roach. I think she's been really instrumental for England today. A lot of the tries have come down that right-hand edge, and now it's time to back herself, and she has them options all around her, and I think it's the players off the ball who are doing a lot of work and tying up defenders. You had Vicky Moll on the inside of her waiting for a ball, and then a nice show and go, and Georgia's always going to back herself, and what an athlete she is.
Yeah, that just shows the quality of Georgia Roach. You know, probably, you know, arguably the most talented halfback in our competition, and she's just showing a range of skills here that she's got, and you know, that'll do her confidence really well as well. She's come back from a foot injury, and you know, hit and miss whether she was going to be here for this World Cup, but great. She just shows great skill there, great footwork, great awareness, and yeah, brilliant player.
The dummy she sold to Holly Dodd. Craig Richards showing his appreciation for that one, the England coach. The dummy to Holly Dodd. I think everybody bought it. You could see the defenders just being sucked towards Dodd, and that gap opening up for her.
Yeah, they're really struggling on that right-hand side, and you know, they've got options. They've got a lot of options flooding forward, and Canada are finding it really hard to defend that.
Tara Stanley doesn't miss, right in front of the post as she was for that one. Her 3rd goal of the game. 30 points to 0, England in front. Georgia Roach with that try, the 2018 Woman of Steel. Another young player still with really the best years still to come ahead of her. She's absolutely outstanding on a day as Georgia Roach.
Yeah, she is, and I think her moving across to Leeds after a stint at Casford has really developed the game, and that's full credit to Lois and the backroom staff at Leeds. I think she's really stepped up to that next level and playing alongside Courtney week in, week out, and now how lucky are we to have them as our England halfbacks. I think the best is yet to come for Georgia.
So what can Canada do in response? It'll be Maddie Aberg again, who restarts the game for Canada. Taken by Courtney Winfield Hill. And here's Danny Anderson driving forward. Another one of the Leeds players in that squad. Another player who's really come back from serious injury in a time, had an ACL operation, missed a full season, got back this last year, and has managed to get her way back into the England squad as well for this World Cup. A great story behind Danny Anderson.
Yeah, it is, and you know, Danny's played really well for Leeds, and if the World Cup was last year as planned, she wouldn't be in the squad through that injury. So yeah, it's been great for her, and again, another outstanding forward for Leeds.
England with the ball with Bennett, out to her Leeds teammate Roach, keeping it moving along the line to Goldthorpe. The pass can't be taken by Dodd. Unusually, it feels unusually a mistake from England this afternoon.
Yeah, the error count's been a lot less. 3 errors this half. Yeah, again, when you set such high standards, we won't be happy with that. But you know, they're shaping up really well. The options are there. Fran Goldthorpe chimed in really nicely there from fullback and created that 2-on-1, 3-on-1. They'll be happy with that, just not the error at the end of it.
Canada got to pat down. Laurie Mariou again with the put in for Canada. And it's away from the base of the scrum and out to Hindley. Driven into the ground by that England defence.
Yeah, great defence again.
Evans takes it herself.
Once again, you see Vic Moll in this defence. I think she's been phenomenal at 13 and she's working really hard on and off the ball, and I think it does give Craig Richards a headache because you've got Jodie Cunningham who slots in at 13 and she can play all over the pitch, but I think today Vic Moll's really stepped up in that role.
Canada with the possession. Liz Steele brought down just inside the England 40. Set restarts, giving Canada the extra tackles as they try and push upfield.
I hope there isn't many more of them. Like, that hooter is right behind me.
Wait while you hear the half-time hooter. Here's Canada still on the attack, coming down the right-hand side with Woods.
That was skin.
Good tackle coming in from Carrie Roberts. Gauto acting half, moving it along the line. Finds Vakulis.
I think England have done really well to kind of quieten down this pack. You know, we spoke about Vakulis, we spoke about Maddie Aberg, the carries, the impact they had against Papua New Guinea, but England have done really well to, you know,
with the kick, just rebound. Sorry, Andrea, it looks like England going to drop on possession there.
Yeah, I would just say they've done well to contain those players.
Looked like Canada potentially, if that had been a better kick, could have had their first joy of the afternoon, but as it was, England's defence got the better.
Yeah.
They come with possession.
It's a good set defensively as well, and you know, Canada just don't seem to have that end of set or that extra, that play, that bit of shape to try and catch England out. And if they stay patient and composed, I can't see Canada scoring.
And here we go again, a break up the centre of the field coming from England. Bennett with a little offload, allowing the break to come from Goldthorpe. Goldthorpe is still on her feet, just stumbling in the end into that tackle. Eventually Canada just managed to scramble and reorganise and bring her down, but England again with that momentum. Vicky Molyneux going forward. She's brought down for the last act of this first half. But what a first half from England. 30 points to 0, their lead. They've been good this last 40.
Yeah, they have. They've been really strong, and it's good to see how fit and athletic our girls are looking. They've just gone from one end of the pitch to the other in 3-4 tackles. I think when you've got such strength and depth, and there's been 7 changes from the last game, I think this is a really exciting England team, and I'm really backing England to go all the way.
Yeah, 100%. They've been really good, and like I said, I didn't think Canada were bad at all against Papua New Guinea. I thought they might be, you know, a little bit tested England a little bit more today, but I think that's credit to England. They've been good. They've contained Canada to hardly any ball and been really strong defensively.
Canada, when they've been in possession, have tried to take the game to England, but it's certainly been England who have commanded this first half. At half-time, England lead Canada by 30 points to 0.
Second half. A terrific opportunity for those attending today to see both national teams of England in action at the same time. It's a rare event. And the hope will be, from an English perspective, that we see the same thing again on November the 19th. Of course, the double-header World Cup final at Old Trafford. 2 weeks today, the women's final preceding the men's. Mike Castle, the Canada head coach, will look for his team to up their performance levels, try and stop the missed tackles, get on the scoreboard, try and give England some problems in this second half. Here come the teams for the second 40 minutes. Let's throw you back to our commentary team, which is led here by Sharon Shortall.
Well, a good first 40 coming from England, building that 30-0 advantage against Canada, who will surely be looking for better in this second half. We've seen some of the England men at half-time just having a pace around the ground here at the DW Stadium at Wigan. Their match follows this against Papua New Guinea in the quarter-finals of the men's competition. And as we saw as Scarf say a little earlier in the crowd, I'm sure the men will be looking for some of that girl power to rub off on them in their competition. But England's women certainly in command here as we prepare to get the second half underway. England against Canada in Group A of the Women's 2021 Rugby League World Cup. And it'll be Maddie Aberg again to get things started for the Canada Ravens. And that kick goes long downfield. Second half is underway, taken cleanly by Courtney Winfield-Hill, and it's Danny Anderson with the first carry of this second half. Good yards made by her as well, driving her way forward to the 40 inside the England half of the field. Andrea Dobson and Faye Gaskin alongside me. England have been looking really just to pick up where they left off.
Yeah, definitely more of the same, and you know, we've been chatting as well, the pack have been really good, and that's just epitomised by this set that we're just watching. And great, you know, tackle bus there. And
Vicky Whitfield with the break, tries to get around the last line of defence. She's still going as well. She's taking some putting down, is Whitfield. Look at the position she's taken England into. Bennett looking for the quick play of the ball. Out to Roach. Roach keeps it to Stanley. Stanley goes herself, and Tara Stanley touches down. Tara Stanley with the latest try from England, and it's her first of the afternoon.
It's a dream start there for England. They come back out, and in the first set they come away with a try, pretty similar to how they started the first half. But for me, this side look more composed, they look ready for this, and they're looking ready for a challenge. And great break from Vicky Whitfield, who got 20-30 metres, and on the back of that you can see her, she tackle busts and she goes, she puts her head down and she's working hard, and that metres is what you need from your pack. And I think this pack have been outstanding today. And then a quick play of the ball, and it's just simple play from England. You see Georgia Roach again with her hands in, just simply tipped it onto Tara, and she has got that option of Georgia Wilson, but backing herself for me is the right option.
2 tries for Tara Stanley against Brazil in the opening match on Tuesday. 8 goals as well, a tally of 24 points, just 2 points off the England record of points in a game. And that's her first 4-pointer of the afternoon. She's kicked 3 goals so far of England's 6 tries. Can she make it 4 from 7? A bit of an angle for her, but a good few metres in from the edge of the pitch, just trying to cut down the angle a little. So can Tara Stanley add on the 2? Oh, never in doubt. England well in command then, 36-0.
yeah, and a brilliant start. And again, as Faye's alluded to, that just comes from the pack. You know, 3 carries from the pack, they've gone 60-70 metres there, and are making it easy for the halves to play and pick their options. So yeah, credit to them, some great carries.
Greg Richards barking down the instructions to the touchline. But again, his side off to the perfect start in this second half, just as they were in the first, with Leah Burke crossing inside the first minute. Pretty similar in this second half. It took Tara Stanley 2 minutes after the restart to get things going again on the scoreboard. So Canada once more with Aberg. Going for the angle. Oh, bobbles there for Carrie Roberts, but she takes it cleanly. the way England are playing this afternoon, it just feels like there's a threat potentially wherever that ball moves across the park.
Yeah, there is, and you know, they've all been outstanding, to be honest, and Craig Richards will be really pleased, and I think what was pleasing as well, the excitement he showed when Georgia Roach went over for that try, and it just shows how invested the coaches are of these teams and the time and energy that it is that they're so invested in their players. And yeah, really nice pictures, but he'll be pleased with his performance so far.
Vicky Molyneux brought to ground just inside the half of Canada. And again, it goes to Stanley with the step through the gap. She's got support with Roach on her left. She's got support on her right. Takes it herself, tries to bat off the defence. She manages it. Tara Stanley goes in for a second in quick succession. The referee hasn't given it yet. Is he happy? Yes, he is. The try is given. The referee points to the spot. It's 2 in quick succession for Stanley.
Great individual try there, but if I'm honest, I'd be raging if she hadn't scored that. Straight through, 2-on-1 either side of the fullback, and if she hadn't scored that, I think in review they wouldn't be very happy with that. But great individual score again, but you know it has to go in or out there for me. But individual score, great.
I think you see there Georgia Roach with a hand involved again, but a great pass, and Tara hits that gap really well. But like Andrea said, you've got to make that option. I know she's often plays as a fullback where it's quite a lonely position and she would be on her own, but playing as a centre now, you've got to be looking in and out.
I was looking at that as she put that ball down, wondering, was it going to be a double movement? No comment from either of you.
Well, I can't see that right corner down there, but yeah, you know, obviously the referee's happy with it, or they can look at it, but yeah.
Well, she's made her own life hard here, has Tara Stanley, the reigning Woman of Steel from 2022 in the Women's Super League. Quite a tough conversion to come for her, the 29-year-old. Steps up then. And it goes across the face of the post, a little short as well. So it stays as 40 points to 0. I don't think any of us really expected England to be quite so much in command of this game at this stage.
No, I think I said by 40, so we've got 40 points already, so I was wrong. But yeah, I thought they were put 40 points on this Canadian team, so yeah, you know, really impressive, and we're looking like we can score from any part of the pitch, which is really pleasing to see.
So Canada to get things started once more with Aberg. It feels like we've said this a few times this afternoon, but it certainly has been one-way traffic as far as the scoreboard is concerned, with England very much on top.
Yeah, I think that game that Canada had against Papua New Guinea would have taken a lot out of them as well, and you know, England strong, easy winners against Brazil by 70 points probably won't have had that after-match feeling as much as the Canadians have.
Carrie Roberts tries to stop it with her foot, then gets her hands involved and knocks that ball on.
I think for me, each of the Canada kickoffs have been different and they've varied it, but they've just got to stay composed now. It's tough for any team to defend for pretty much 90% of a game, and that just does take it out on you, but they should be quite fresh from the half-time, so hopefully we'll see a great attacking set from them.
So let's see what the Ravens can produce with their first real attacking set of this second half. The two sides packing down. Laura Mariu putting the ball in and out and away to Aberg. Tries to get around the defence. See England moving in the defence as well, just trying to slide across the pitch to plug the gaps out wide. Canada move it back towards the centre of the field. In the arms of Liz Steele. Again at acting half, it's Alex Evans. On off the bench, her first appearance in this World Cup. Moving it out wide towards the right. There's Hindley with a bit of a step. Good tackle, but the good offload as well. And Canada are in! Canada have scored. It's Petra Woods. Scored as well against Papua New Guinea. And she scores this afternoon against England.
Yeah, good score there from Canada. I think that's the first time England have been really challenged with a little bit of shape and bodies in movement going at that line. So they will be disappointed with that. But yeah, do you know what? Great footwork back on the inside from Petra Woods there.
Canada just have to believe they do have that shape, and it comes from this kick-off. Just an unfortunate error from Carrie Roberts there, and she'll be frustrated with that, but we've got to defend this. You see the skip over, and Woods backs herself. She has got a 3-on-1 there, and she tips it on, and a great try.
Gabby Hindley doing work as the captain, giving that offload to the centre.
Yeah, great offload as well there from Gabby Hindley. You know, in a bit of footwork in and out, really stands Carrie Roberts up there, and that creates that space out wide.
And the delight of the Canadian fans in the crowd as well. I think it was a try we all expected would come at some point. Probably took a little bit longer than we thought it might.
Yeah, England have defended really well up to that point, but, you know, like we said, that is probably the first time they've really been challenged. But, you know, credit to Canada there. They're not giving up. And, you know, the efforts are there. They're still turning up. They're still competing.
So the conversion to come. Maddie Aberg with the kicking duties. Eyes up the post, takes her time, takes a breath. And it goes across the face of the post. 40 points to 4, the scoreline remains. As daft as it sounds, I know England won't be happy to have conceded, but it won't hurt them.
No, it absolutely won't hurt him, and I think this is the set now. This is where you need a strong set. You need the Holly Dodds, the Vicky Mauls to have a really strong physical set. As the World Cup progresses, they will come a point where they have to defend their own line, and if it doesn't go their way, but this is the set what you need, a really big set from England now.
Yeah, early in these group stages you want to be challenged, you want to be put under pressure. The coaching staff will certainly want to see the players put under a little bit of pressure and how they react to it.
Great defensive push coming from England.
Yeah, we'll see a big defensive set now from England. They'll be hurt by that try, and I think they'll really put the numbers in now.
And again, another huge push, forcing the player in possession back. The referee just stopping, I think he'd called held. And then the ball was released from the tackle. So Pakoulis just goes back to the spot. We mentioned about the tackle count as well for Pakoulis in that first game, Megan Pakoulis. Again, she's putting the work in for her team this afternoon. 23 tackles, which is by far and away the biggest number of tackles made by a Canadian player this afternoon. An incredible work rate from the loose forward.
Yeah, by either player, to be quite honest. I think she's eight tackles ahead of any other player on the pitch. So yeah, she certainly does have a high work rate.
So Canada trying to attack down the England right. This is the last of the set. Good work done by England in defence, keeping Canada back inside the 40 as McDade goes with a high kick over the defensive line, taken by Leah Burke.
I think it was just a bit of a slice kick, that one. Canada, it was a good set for them, but they just needed to get that kick to turn England round, to not have England starting their sets in the Canada half.
Again, movement coming from Fran Goldthorpe, and she's still on her feet. Now she straightens up. Can she go any further? She can't, but the support play, that's the word I'm looking for. Support play is there with her.
Still got a Harry Boyd in her.
So England pushing forward with Anderson. Anderson keeps the ball alive. I think Bennett not quite expecting it, but it's been picked up safely by Goldthorpe again. 10 metres out from the line. This is looking good again from England. The pace has been picked up. Back inside from Stanley. England keeping it moving into space. Huge space out wide on the left. It's Courtney Whitfield-Hill. This has got to be a try for England, and it's Carrie Roberts who gets herself on the end of it. Carrie Roberts goes in, her first try of this World Cup, and it's England's 9th of the afternoon.
Yeah, do you know what? That's a great try to see. I think sometimes, you know, we're guilty of saying there's probably an extra pass, but they don't need a pass, and probably a couple of times there, but what great vision. Look up, 2 long passes, ball into space, and I think that's what we've been wanting to see a little bit more of from England, is play what you see, play with your heads up, push through those gaps, and just eyes up, and that was a really good try.
Yeah, you can see there they've got a great pass, an offload what come in the tackle from Holly Dodd, and you see Kira Bennett hits Georgia Roach, and Georgia's got a lovely right to left pass and onto Courtney. And to be fair, Courtney could have probably backed herself and gone, but unselfish play there, and she tipped it on, and I think there was a queue of 3 players waiting for that, but Carrie finished that nicely.
She won't score many easier, will she?
No, I doubt it.
But she needs to learn to dive. That was not a good put down.
Looking for a little bit of flair, say, aren't we?
Well, if that had been knocked on.
It was touched down safely from an England point of view. I think that'll all be Craig Richards is asking for at the moment. as we get ready for Tara Stanley to add the extras, or try to add the extras. Carrie Roberts, incidentally born in Wales, has played against Wales as well, but representing England at this Rugby League World Cup. As Stanley comes in. Almost the stadium holding its breath there, and again, nothing tagged on for Tara Stanley, not having the best of tournaments so far as the boot is concerned, but certainly with 2 tries against Brazil and 2 this afternoon again for her in this game against Canada. Hopefully that'll just take the edge off the disappointment with the kicking boot, but certainly things will need to tighten up as this tournament progresses for England.
Yeah, Tara's attacked well, and she's a great individual player. You know, Woman of Steel this year in the Super League, and has shown week in, week out what a great player she is. But yeah, I think that we keep saying it, but the goal kicking will make a difference later on in the later stages.
So Aberg once more with the kick-off for Canada. Again goes towards Carrie Roberts, and it goes straight through her arms this time. She tries desperately there to salvage something, but again Canada will try and put England under pressure.
I think it's tough once you make that first mistake. You know the opposition are going to focus on you and send the ball back there, and it just gets in your head. And I guess it's the same with goal kicking. It's quite a lonely job, and there's a lot of pressure on it. And I think these girls know the quality, their absolute quality, and Carrie's just got to pick her head up now and have a really strong defensive set.
So Canada will get things started with the tap. Adria Okonkwo, the player who gets things started for Canada. Liz Steele takes it in. England trotting back, having to defend that line. As Canada try and move the ball through the centre of the field. Here's McDade. She's got support. Looked like the pass was going to be clear away then from Aberg, who does her best to try and salvage something from that. It's knocked on, it goes forward, and I think her knees were in touch by the time she managed to pick it up anyway. So that just broke down there for Canada.
Yeah, I don't know if that's come off an England player. I don't know if she's tried to offload it and it's come off Leah Burke there. Oh, not sorry, Leah Burke, Georgia Wilson.
That's unfortunate for Canada, because they did have the overlap. They had that 2v1, and I think she just put her head down a bit too early to back herself, and if she'd have lifted her head, that tip would have been on easier. But they are getting the numbers on England, which is a great thing for Canada, but a little bit worrying for England.
So another chance then for Canada. It's moved out wide. Here goes Woods, the try scorer. She's going to be brought down by Carrie Roberts. But Canada in a good position. We know they've got the skill. We know they can move that ball around. There goes Pakulis trying to drive her way forward. She's caught though by the England defence. The tacklers coming in looking strong. But Canada still with that ball. Bit of a dummy sold. Play going very close now to that England line. Pakulis, that's in half. Okonkwo going forward. She's trying to drive through. Will she be held up by the England defence? Has she got the strength to get that ball down? England come out on top, drive her back, but Canada very close here for their second try of the game. Pakulis goes low. Pakulis is short as well. This is the last chance for Canada in this set. It's moved out to McDade. McDade keeps it moving to Aberg. Aberg tries to go for the line herself. England have the upper hand there in defence. She won't get the pass out either. It'll be the turnover.
Great defence there. I think, yeah, like Faye alluded to, they've probably caught them a couple of times, but I think England have defended really well. You can see from up here, they're communicating, they're working from the inside out, they're talking to each other, you know, they're taking the right player and they're working overtime for each other. So, you know, again, Canada.
Oh, Tara Stanley with the step, taking herself outside the England 20, up towards the 40. The support ambles up behind her. The defence comes in. Stanley brought down. That was a relieving run there from Tara Stanley from her own line. Here's Wilson.
It certainly was, and after that set so close to the English line, for Tara to come out and go 40 metres is outstanding for her team, and again just puts them straight on the front foot.
Georgia Roach hit again there by Laura Mariu. And Roach will get to her feet. England again rolling down the field. Beth Stotts on from the substitutes bench. Keeps it moving to Carrie Roberts. A bit of a bubbling pass. Roberts has to just do what she can in that situation. And she hands off the first line of defence and tries to regain a few of those lost metres. It's Roach. support from Zoe Hornby on for a debut. And this is the last of the set for England.
Yeah, great to see Zoe Hornby on there as well. She's had a fantastic season for Leeds again. In
Courtney Winfield-Hill with a chip over the top, taken by Petra Woods, mocked up by Canada.
Yeah, no, again, just saying about Zoe Hornby, just great to see her get her debut today.
She was outstanding, was Zoe Hornby, in the Challenge Cup final for Leeds. It was a win for St Helens in the end, but Zoe Hornby was superb at loose forward that day.
Yeah, she was, and it, you know, again, late comer into the squad and really well earned, and it just shows that Craig Richards, you know, he's picking players on form and he's picking the players that have been performing week in, week out in the Women's Super League.
So Canada with the ball, trying to come forward. I think with Zoe Hornby coming on, that's everyone now in the England squad have had a run out from the squad in that World Cup.
I think it's important for him to see his whole squad. You know, you can train together for 5 years, but if you're not getting the opportunity to shine on a pitch, it's a lot different again to training, and it's good to see Beth Stott on, and they've moved Georgia Roach into that 9 position.
Leah Burke with the fumble from the kick. But a penalty awarded to England, offside, says the referee.
Yeah, that's a bit of a let-off there. An uncharacteristic error from Leah Burke there. She's been solid, she's been good all game and has caught anything that's been thrown at her. So yeah, uncharacteristic there and lucky to get the penalty.
So the kick for touch for England, just gaining them a few more metres upfield. Roach gets play again. Winfield-Hill moving the ball towards the centre. Just trying to work out who's playing where at the moment, with 3 halfbacks basically on the pitch, with Beth Stott coming on. We'll come on to that in a second as it's moved out along the line. Here's Stanley again going for the line. She takes the pass, and that is Tara Stanley's hat-trick for England this afternoon. Great work downfield. Stanley finishing it off. 3 tries for the Woman of Steel.
Again there, Georgia Roach just picking the pass. She's had loads of time on the ball today. Not a lot of pressure from the defence, but she's picking her passes, you know, with a quality finish from Tara there.
I think as the tournament's going on, Georgia's just going from strength to strength, and to even see how that she can move into a 9 position and there not be a massive difference between the 9 and a halfback moving in is a real credit to Georgia herself. But as you can see there, Fran with that tip on, and again it was 2 versus 1, and Tara backs herself to finish that.
All coming, of course, from that penalty given to England for Canada being offside.
No, apologies, it was Beth Stott who found that pass. I thought it was Georgia Roach. Yeah, again, you know, like for like quality coming off the bench, and Beth Stott's a great player as well, and again just picks that pass out.
So Tara Stanley, 2 tries against Brazil, 3 tries against Canada. Finding the strike really in the centre. Usually, as we've mentioned, seeing her at fullback, but having joy as far as the tries are concerned in the centres so far in this tournament for England. So a hush again falls around the DW Stadium as we see if Tara Stanley can add the extras. The 10th try of the afternoon for England, and that looks good. And it brings up the 50-point mark for England.
Yeah, great kick there, and I think all England are looking for from a goal kicker is a bit of consistency, and I think, you know, it should come with Tara. The more she kicks, the higher percentages will get.
I think Tara's one of them players who plays on a lot of confidence as well. If things are going well for her, she's scoring a hat-trick in an England shirt. It doesn't come often. The confidence will come with the kicking, but I'm sure she puts in hours and hours on that training ground.
And we see the 3 tries there from Tara Stanley, each one really with some great footwork in the build-up. As Craig Richards looks on, he didn't look very happy, I'll have to be honest there, looking at the expression on his face. I'm sure he's keeping his game face on at the moment though, as Aberg prepares to get things started again for Canada. And that's taken cleanly this time for England, and we're away with Leah Burke.
Yeah, I think Paige Travis is coming on this right second row for Emily Rudge as well.
So the captain potentially going off then, with Travis coming back on. She was in the starting 13 this afternoon. Have we worked out yet how it's working with Courtney Winfield-Hill And Georgia Roach, as the 6 again, is sounded from the set restart.
I think Georgia's playing at 9. I think Beth Stott's on at this right half, and Courtney Winfield Hill's on the left. So yeah, they've just switched Georgia to 9 and brought Beth on.
Zoe Hornby with the ball.
I don't think that's a bad option for England. Georgia's quite nippy round that ruck. She'll be looking for someone lying, not getting back quick enough, but she's quite quick and agile, so I think she'll be looking for any opportunity to exploit the Canada defence.
Yeah, clever player as well, and I think, you know, one thing for Georgia that makes her stand out is her understanding of the game, her understanding of rugby league, and she gets it. She's a clever player and still really young as well.
Yeah, just 22 years old, Georgia Roach. And I think there was 1 or 2 sweating when, before this tournament started, she missed the end of the Women's Super League season with that ankle problem that she had, but clearly coming through these last couple of matches with no ill effects. So Canada with the ball from the scrum. Aberg got through a lot of work again this afternoon. Driven into the ground, though, by that England defence. England really having to work at the moment in the centre of the field as Canada look to come forward. Tam back on for the Canadians, back at hooker. Steele goes forward. Carried well.
These are good carries from Canada as well, and you know, again they've got a good pack. They're going forward. They're trying everything.
McDade met in an absolute bear hug coming in there from Paige Travis. Set restart again, another set of 6. For the Canadians, I'm sure England will be looking to try and tidy up around the ruck, giving it away twice as Canada try to roll downfield. Okonkwo going forward now, right in the face of the posts.
Bloody Hulter.
Natalie Tam again. Not the best of passes. You could see a couple of her teammates ducking to get out of the way of that, not really expecting it, as Canada trying to drive through. Still pushing that line. England being tested. Here's Tam. To Mariu. McDade. Big hit coming in there from Stanley. Helped out by Beth Stott as well.
Yeah, good defence. They're numbering up well. They're getting numbers in.
Mariu driving forward. Looked like she had runners. She's got McDade. Little ball shoved at her there. But England ready. This is the last of the set for Canada. And it's Bakulis going forward. She's going to be held up. Good work again from England, but Canada certainly pushing that line.
Canada look good when they get into that England half. I think they've just got to come away from that one player running it in. I think England's defence is too strong in the middle for that, and you can see Tara Stanley was in 2 or 3 tackles there, and Fran was also covering it. I think if Canada are looking to ship the ball and get out to the edges, I think that's where they'll get a bit more success.
Wilson round on the outside to Stanley. She's got some. She's got 1 player to beat. She's got Muller to beat. Muller just stood her ground and didn't move, and it alarmed me how static she seemed, but it was successful in the end. The tackle was made, and England have to attack up the middle.
Again, one carry there. Great carry. We're starting the set 40 metres away from the line.
Courtney Winfield Hill straight through the defence. She's got space in front of her. Will she need any help? No, she won't. The defence closes through, but still Winfield Hill on her feet. What a run from the half-back. Brought down within that 10-metre area. Incredible run from Winfield Hill. Here's Stott. Stands up in that tackle, looks for the offload, can't get it away, safely hangs on to possession for England. Here's Roach. Takes it herself, sells a dummy, goes for that line. The tackle's in. This is the last of the set for England. Can they crack that Canadian line this time? Out and away again to Winfield Hill, puts the kick in. The defence is tight, it's short, taken by Burke, and it's Leah Burke. Leah Burke on the end of it, on the end of the kick from Courtney Winfield Hill, who started the move, and Leah Burke gets her second.
Yeah, great take there from Leah Burke, and just almost an easy try as well there. Great vision from Courtney Winfield Hill to spot that space on the left. I think a few plays before it could have been a try under the 6 for probably 4 or 5 players following up that break from Courtney Winfield Hill, but a real hard line from Holly Dodd, just on Courtney's left, just opened that gap up for her to run through, and some great rugby on show.
I think with the calibre of Courtney's kicking as well, she was always going to put that on a plate for Leah, but you can see her break here just so fast, different footwork, but like Andrea said, there was a queue of players on the left-hand side waiting for that pass, and I think if England hadn't scored on the back of this, they'd have probably got frustrated, but here it was a perfect pinpoint kick, and Leah's so close to the line, you're not going to stop her. She's just so physical, and a great finish for her with 2 defenders around her.
I think as well, like, you know, you say Craig had a stern look on his face, and it's not for a coaching team, or when you're 50 points in front, it's almost the little things you're looking for. It's a little improvements. It's the little things where you're thinking, if that was a Kiwi side in front of you or an Australian side, and you don't execute that 2v1 or you don't take that opportunity, that's what the coaching side will be thinking. So where it's really positive and fantastic to see, they'll be looking at the little improvement that they can take from this for when they come against a bit tougher opposition.
And do you both feel that we have seen progress today from this England side, albeit a different one to what we saw against Brazil?
Oh, 100% for me. I think, you know, against Brazil there were more errors. You know, I don't think they took some opportunities. They looked a bit nervous. There were times when they were choosing the wrong options, and it's been 100% better today. They've shown real class and quality today.
I think it's been a really calm approach and a patient approach this time. I think our middles have been outstanding. You've got to give a big shout out to Holly Dodd and Vic Moll. I think Vic Moll's give Craig Richards a massive headache there, stepping into a 13 role. A role what we're probably all used to seeing her in a WSL. It's only been the last 12 months she's pushed out to that back row. But for me, she offers so much as that 13, and her defence today has been phenomenal, and she's really giving people a headache. But between Holly Dodd and Vic Moll, the middles have been outstanding.
So Leah Burke with that try as England scoop up the possession from the kickoff. Leah Burke, a player who wouldn't have been in this England side potentially had this competition gone ahead last year. She only picked up a rugby ball 5 years ago. So what a burst onto the international scene for the St Helens winger.
6 again!
6 again, says the referee. Set restart indicated by the hooter.
Oh, we're ready for it then, because you said it.
The 6 again, basically just to try and keep the flow of the game going without it being stopped and having a penalty as Paige Travis goes forward for England. And again, they look to get that momentum, get the roll on up the middle of the field. Stott takes on the line. She had the runner coming through, didn't need her, takes it herself in the end. And England keeping it moving to the centres with Roberts. Bounces off one line of defence, hits by the second.
Give us space!
England just organising. Tara Stanley calling for it away on the right-hand side. Ball with Stott. Here's Dodd. Dodd. 2 tries for her in this first half. 2 of the 11 tries England have scored in this game. And again, it's Stott. Once more, Shona Hoyle tries to take it through. Nice offload to Hornby. Driving away forward. Still going.
I think Shona Hoyle's been really good as well, and noticeably in her game, the little intricate
Roach
skills.
with the kick. Underneath it is Taylor, tackled into touch though, and it'll be Canada that comes up with the ball.
Yeah, the little intricate skills from Shona Hoyle, you know, the little tip-ons, the little skills. I think she's really improved in her game as well as the go forward. So I think her all-round game is really improved.
See Taylor just leaping for that ball. She'd nowhere to go really there, had she? Just no space.
No, it just needed to be a couple of more metres infield, and it probably would have been a little bit more of a threat. But again, just look where they're turning the ball over. They can apply some real pressure here.
Just looking down there, both Sab McDade for Canada and Georgia Wilson just receiving a bit of attention from the physio. It doesn't look like it's anything other than cramp, and both players rejoin their defensive lines. So Canada with the possession.
I think what's good to see as well is just the England team not letting up. You can see them pointing, you can see them talking, you can see that aggression in that defence, that they still want to work hard, they still want to put pressure on even though they're 50 points up.
We talked about the tackles that Megan Bakulis had put in for Canada, 31 for her. Just looking at the England girls, it's that player again, Vicky Molyneux, 27 tackles, and that in a game where England are 54-4 up.
Yeah, she's worked so hard on and off the ball, and I think she has made a real difference. I think for me, this squad today is looking a lot stronger than the squad we had out last week, and I think there's so many players who can come in and change that, but Vic Moll's just being head and shoulders above the rest today.
Canada trying to find space down the centres, a bit of a high shot coming in there from Georgia Wilson, who held her hands up immediately as the penalty's awarded. And it'll be Sav McDade to take the kick for touch. It's not found though, and Tara Stanley bats it back. I think Georgia Wilson was there. I think that could have been her clean ball. I think the full-back of Tara Stanley's brain just got into play there.
Yeah, that's a big mistake from Canada. They get the ball in good position. They only need to get it off the field to get it back, and yeah, they won't be pleased with that.
So England with the possession as rain is absolutely teeming down here now at Wigan. Shona Hoyle brought down, 6 again. The tackle count wiped clean, and it's Paige Travis going forward. If people could see the amount of people that leap here on this this country every time that hooter goes.
I don't like the expected noise.
A mistake there from Paige Travis at the play of the ball.
That'll be frustrating for Paige. I think she's really making a mark in that shirt, and she's wanting to keep that shirt going forward. And I think just a silly error. I think we talk a lot about them 1% and the 1% what we do well, and unfortunately they're the percentage we don't want. I think this England team are making strides and strides, ready for that game next week against Papua New Guinea, and I think this has been a great contest for them in times, but the little errors are the stuff we've not seen as much from England today.
Yeah, double the amount of errors in the second half as the first half as well, whether that's fatigue or just the rain maybe.
A code going forward.
It makes you drop the ball.
Yeah. Greasy handling, I think, is the
Thank
phrase
you,
you're
yeah.
looking for, isn't it? But Canada with that possession now. Mariu looked like she was just going to lay off a little pass there. But the defence came in. Tam keeping it moving. Canada trying to drive up the centre of the field. So a late substitution comes on from Canada as well, as Steele carries it through for her side. Big hit coming in from England. 3 tacklers in there. That girl again, Vicky Molyneux involved. As it comes out to McDade, puts a grubber kick in along the ground. Great positioning there from Georgia Wilson. And England have the ball again, and Wilson tries to break through. Good play there from Wilson.
Yeah, really well picked up from that corner, and a good return.
So it's England once again trying to get outside their own half of the field. Stanley at first receiver. McDade there with the tackle for Canada. And it's moved out towards the centres again. Molyneux, big handoff coming from the Wigan forward. Bennett.
Yeah, I think Kira Bennett's played really well today as well. Very few errors and just really played what's in front of her, and yeah, orchestrated really well.
Not the best of passes to Zoe Hornby. She had to really get down low to take that, and the error comes.
I think Canada have defended really well in elements. I just think, for me, England, you can see they're just that level above. They've had a lot of fixtures before this. They've been together for 5 years, and it's been probably a very similar squad of what's been selected to go to the World Cup. Obviously, a few girls have missed out, but they've just got a little bit more experience in our attacking shape when it gets into the Canada half, and I think that's what Canada lack, that experience in attack.
Craig Richards looking on from the safety of the crowd. I say safety away from the rain is what I'm thinking more than anything else by saying that.
Hooter.
As we just look again, as a bit of friendly fire there, I think, between the Canadian defenders, meaning that just 1 or 2 receiving a bit of attention from the physio. Sav McDade that was the last one to get back on her feet. As we wait for the 2 sides to pack down again. Laura Mariu with the ball in hand for Canada. Qualifies to play for Canada through a Canadian mother, but certainly born in New Zealand and part of the New Zealand outfit for many, many a year. In fact, every World Cup apart from this one.
Will she go for a 7th? Who knows? It's only 3 years.
Exactly, you wouldn't put it past her, would you? We will... what have we got now? 5 minutes remaining in this game. I think, Andrea, you're in fair time to have a bit of a think about who your player of the match is going to be, if you want to start pointing at each other and deciding who you think.
I ain't got a clue who Faye thinks, to be honest. I don't know. Yeah, do you know what? For me, I think you know, Tara scored three tries on that right edge, and there's been some really champagne tries out wide. But
just hold you there, Andrea, because we've got a captain's challenge on the field. Let's see what's been said here.
To match director, we have a captain's challenge from Canada disputing the decision of a knock-on. Best available angles there, please. Tackles over the shoulder there. The ball's lost forward by Canada and then knocked on by England. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Unsuccessful. Challenge is unsuccessful.
So an unsuccessful challenge coming in there from Canada. If it's the first time you've seen a captain's challenge, if you're new to watching rugby league or you're just watching the women's game for the first time, it's the same right throughout the tournament for the men and the women is the captain's challenge. You've got 10 seconds to ask the video referee to review it through the referee. You get one challenge. If you are successful with that challenge, you keep it. If you are unsuccessful, you lose it, and that's just what's happened to Canada. So they have no more challenges to go in this game, and England haven't used theirs at all. As Tara Stanley goes forward as play restarts for England.
I think the captain's challenge brings an exciting element to the game, and I think to be able to respect the referee that much, to be like, I'd like to challenge that, and more often than not the referees are right, but yeah, I think it is an exciting element.
It's common in the Australian game, but certainly for the British game, it's the first time we've seen it in action, and yeah, I think it's been quite a success really, hasn't it, from what we've seen so far.
Yeah, and just going back to that player of the match, you know, Tara's played really well, some great tries on the edges, but for us, the pack has been outstanding today across it. Holly Dodd, Vicky Molly, you know, Paige Travis, Shona Royal, they've all been outstanding, big carries. But today for us, the player of the match goes to number 14, Victoria Molyneux, who's played at loose forward today, has been outstanding.
Vicky Molyneux, a girl from Wigan, her family have had players for Wigan, her dad Jim played for them. She'll be proud to get that award here on this ground in her hometown. So Canada then with the ball, bringing it forward. Good drive back from the England defence. Into the final 5 minutes of this game. Oh, skills there from Canada, almost came off there for Pakoulis. An offside, England are penalised. That would have been one heck of a juggle. Skills that wouldn't have gone amiss in a circus.
I'm not sure how she would have ever regained that to go back over her head, but the tackle before, again, we were speaking about her. Vicky Moll was in there with a strong tackle, and I think you can see her again just in and out of each tackle. She's just been outstanding today, and it's given a real headache, I think, to Craig Richards when you've got someone that good who potentially may start as a 13 or a back rower.
Is that the chant of Canada I can hear coming around the stadium?
Yeah, I think it was.
Chant walls going on. I think the England crowd getting behind their team now as well, as Canada coming forward with Natalie Tam. Keeping it moving up the centre of the field, driving forward at Canada. Liz Steele driven into the ground. McDade just readjusting the headband. And Canada trying to go forward. With Zoe Siciliano. This is the last of the set for Canada. Steele. Ball dropped by Pakoulis, dropped on by Holly Dodd. England back with the possession. Paige Travis going up as first receiver. England playing out now these final couple of minutes. They'll be looking to hang on to that ball, try and keep their line intact, not concede any more tries, just that one conceded early in the second half. Beyond that, it's been a solid defensive performance again from England.
Yeah, it has been really pleasing to see. I think the tenacity and the effort in defence has been really good to see, and I think it will be tested again another level next week against Papua New Guinea, so you know that'll be another game to watch.
Danny Anderson hitting that line, turns as if she was trying to look for an opportunity to get that pass away. And now it's Roach. Bit of hesitation, kick over the top, into space. And that just a little bit too much on it and goes behind the dead ball line.
I think for England now, they'll try and run down the clock, and I'm sure Georgia will be probably a little bit frustrated by that last set there. There was nothing coming off from her, but I know from now it'll be a big, strong defensive set. They won't want to end on a negative, England.
So final substitution being made at this stage of the game. Brittany Douglas coming on for Canada.
Stand up, Holly, give space.
And England having to defend.
Hold! Go, 0.
It's been a brilliant atmosphere as well. I think the amount of people in the stadium.
Hindley breaks through. Hindley's got Goldthorpe just standing her ground, waiting for her there, almost challenging her to run at her. Goldthorpe with a great tackle on the Canadian captain. Was that a knock-on? Nope, says the referee. Mariu, yes it was. Yes, it was.
Oh, that's unlucky there. I think that's a great break from Hindley down that right edge. And, you know, again, heads up, had a look. She could have passed it to a winger and put a little bit more pressure on this England side. But, again, great defence.
I think she was a little hard done to there. I don't think a hand actually come off the ball and it hit the floor. But yeah, Canada, they're still attacking in the 79th minute. They're still looking to get that next try. But I think they've been great today. The defence has been really strong.
Kick over the top from Georgia Roach. The chase is on. Back there is Muller for Canada. She wins the race. She comes up with the ball. The Ravens back in possession. And this next tackle on Hindley, still with intent coming in there from England. And I think a performance of intent, bringing them through to that 54-4 win this afternoon. Plenty now for Greg Richards to think about after that performance.
Yeah, definitely. And who'd be a coach? I mean, you know, Emily Rudge is a fantastic player and a great leader, and arguably a little bit quieter today. And I think, you know, Vicky Molly, Holly Dodd have put the real cat amongst the pigeons there for this back row with Jodie Cunningham to come back at 13. So yeah, a real headache for Craig Richards, and one definitely I wouldn't want to pick, to be honest. But yeah, but that just shows the strength and depth in this squad and how exciting this squad is. And yeah, really looking forward to watching them going forward in the tournament.
They're really making that statement. The first game with such a big win and another big win here. They're wanting the nation, the country to get behind them and back them, and these girls believe, and it's about everybody else now jumping on this and believing and supporting them. It's been a great turnout today at the DW, and another statement made by England women.
And in front of a great crowd as well. I know it's a double header, but there has been so many in here this afternoon to see the women play. It's been, like you said, Andrea, a great atmosphere.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and the backing of the women's game now is more than it ever has been, and this World Cup has really put, you know, the women's game, the wheelchair game on a pedestal and on a platform and a place where people can come and watch, and people are taking notice, and people are seeing these teams and getting on the back of it and actually talking about you know, the women in the wheelchair, and there's a real excitement about it, and it's really pleasing to see.
So the players shaking hands on the pitch. 11 tries for England this afternoon. The hat-trick for Tara Stanley, a couple as well for Leah Burke, as we see the teams just congratulating each other. So earlier today we saw the England Rugby Union players beat Canada in the Women's World Cup. We've seen this group game go through, England remaining unbeaten with a 54-4 win over Canada.